Hey, Mr. Clash here, and today we're going to have a look at this really interesting troop combination. There's a bit of a go boho troop combination, and it's the way that it's all used that makes this pretty interesting. Okay, so we've got going to start with a queen walk. Firstly, just have a check of the troop combo to start with. So 1 archer, 4 wall breakers, 7 wizards, 1 baby dragon, 1 minion, 17 hogs, 1 golem, and you've got a skelly and a poison spell. Now, we'll just have a look. We're going to have a look at 6 attacks first. We'll just watch this one pretty well at just normal speed. Now, not all of the attacks go according to plan. So you're going to see some of them, the jump spell doesn't work quite correctly, and so on and so forth. So normally you might have a bit of a queen walk go ho, something like that, but this one we're having a queen walk go bow ho, or hobo, depending on which way that you want to have the bow and the hoe. But in this case, go bow ho. So bowlers in. Now in this case, in this particular attack, the clan castle's gone wandering, of course, because the golem was way off to the side over there. But they don't all go that way. Massively wide funnel. King's gone in, and it's just an interesting attack that you've got the queen. It's a covered queen walk, which means she is going to come into the base with the rest of the troops. Now do pay note to what the healers do. The healers have abandoned the queen to go onto the bowlers. Now, after this recent update that we had with Builder Hall 7, and what we've been noticing is that the healers are more willing to abandon troops to move on to other troops. So the day where you would see the healers nearby healing up a fully healed something that isn't under fire, while troops that are under fire and in range just sit there dying. Now you notice the use of the skelly spell. It was used in this case to help to distract some of the extra weapons and enable the hogs to get in unimpeded, unshot at, and take out the weapon. So saving the hogs a little bit. Don't always have to use it that way. Sometimes you might want to use it, like for instance now you could possibly be using it to take out the cannon or a mortar on the outside, something like that. There are a variety of reasons that, or ways to use the skeleton spell in this attack combo. Now, queen walks aren't new. Go boho is not new. Doing a queen walk with a go boho is certainly not anything that's totally brand new. However, what's interesting about this is that it's pretty well the single one combination of troops over and over. It's very, very little variety. 17 hogs each one. Okay, so we'll have a look at the next one. Now, these attacks are all from the recent No Dip League staff versus No Dip League participants war that we had. So you've got a interesting couple little moat things up the top there. We'll just speed this up so you can just get to see how it's used. Got a bit of a troll Tesla up the top there that you can see, so it has to rethink the plan a little bit. Okay, a little bit of a rethink of the plan, get the golem down, get the wizard down. Now, it does mean that the golem is going to go in a little bit earlier than fully anticipated, but you can see 25% of the base is gone already, and really only the main push into the base is coming now. The wall breaker had a bit of a wall breaker fail because of the expo. The expo range was able to get the wall breakers just, took out the wall breakers, so obviously the jump spell had been placed in anticipation of everybody being able to go in, so ended up being a little bit of a useless jump spell. You can see there in the middle of the base. Like I said, all of the attacks don't go 100% according to plan that you're going to see here, but 60% of the base is destroyed here before the hogs have come in. Now you can see that the skeleton spell did get dropped near the king's pad, and that pretty well distracted that expo, while the hogs would come in almost totally unimpeded. Now the hogs have perished. 17 hogs, didn't get a lot of value out of them with the spells and things like that, but the attack is still a 3-star attack because the queen still has the healers, and it's too hard to overcome. The rest of the base had already fallen to the bowlers and things like that, and now with the healers still on the queen, it's just working beautifully now that the healers changed side. Okay, so this is the third attack, and you'll notice it's as we're going through these attacks that they are getting used on a variety of bases. So the queen part is starting at the bottom here. Now the danger of this one is when you drop a healer near queens, and especially if there's a wizard nearby that is sick, watch what happens here when the healers get dropped. They've gone over to the wizard. How many times has that happened? It's like, oh my goodness gracious, the healers have left the wizard, gone to the wizard, and look at that. Did you see them swap? As soon as the queen got hit, the healers left the wizard and came over to the queen. Like, that is just unheard of. That has not been, haven't seen that at all. Usually those healers would have stayed on to the wizard and it would have been a lost cause. But as soon as the queen got one shot, the healers just said, we're going over to the queen, the wizard's healthy, and we're just pathing over to the queen. Okay, we'll speed the rest of this up now. So as you can see, again, over 20% of the base is gone, and before the golems have come in. Wall breaker, test wall breaker, lovely. Other two wall breakers, nice. Two more wizards coming in. Now, the thing with this troop combination is it is 15 icons. 15 troop icons will be sitting at the bottom of your tab or your phone. Now, do count up the number of icons that you can have on your screen before you need to start scrolling for troops. So in my case, with the recent user interface update that Supercell gave Android people, I can now only display 13 icons on the bottom of my screen before I need to start scrolling. So in an attack like this that takes 15 icons, I need to make an adjustment. So we'll have a look at the next attack and I'll talk about the adjustment that's needed. Okay, so just having a look at the troop icons at the bottom of the screen there, there are 15 icons. So if you want to make that 13 icons, you could ditch the minion or baby dragon or both. So you could ditch the minion for extra archers and ditch the baby dragon for extra wizards and archers or something like that. Essentially, we'll speed this up as well. Essentially what you're doing is you're going to be swapping out something so that you've got more of something else that is the same, not a different something that isn't already on your icon. So if you got rid of the baby dragon for a couple extra wizards and a couple extra archers or something, or you could have gotten rid of the baby dragon for 2 extra wizards, for example, which would be 8 troop space, and then the 2 extra troop space that you have, you could swap out the minion with the 2 extra troop space and the archer and bring in extra hog if you wanted to do that, and that would give you 13 troop icons on the bottom of the screen. Like I said, it's an issue that I have with Android after the updated user interface. Previous to that I could have more, but so for those people who have issues with the scroll, such as I do, when I do try to scroll my tab, it interferes with the game. The game gets a little bit laggy. It's like it's trying to do too much. And I struggle with the game when I have to scroll because of the icons at the bottom. So if that's you and you're looking how to use this troop combo to reduce that, then that's one way to do it. You could, of course, just change the extra troops, the minion and the extra troops from the baby dragon. You could just change those out for extra archers as well. So we'll go on to the next one. So as you can see here, with the wall breakers, if you don't need wall breakers, you don't need to bring them. You could possibly swap them out for something else again. But in all cases, have a play with the troops. Like, do make up this troop combination, and you'll notice that there's a bit of a theme going on. You've got the queen walk. You have to decide which way you want to funnel and which way you want to walk the queen. Then you can see the other side of the funnel getting created on the left. Single golem in through the middle. With the raid spell was used on the queen in this case. Wall breakers in. Oh, look, having a little bit of a wall breaker fail. First wall breaker went sort of this way and that way. Anticipated that they'd gotten through the wall, dropped the jump spell, and they haven't gotten in through the wall. Now I know that when I attack, I just get on autopilot. Drop this, drop that, drop that. Where I've done my plan, and I'm not even really looking at the screen. I'm just starting to drop things, and it's only once I've gone a certain way into the attack, I look up and I'm going, oh my goodness, something's gone wrong, and it's too late to recover because I wasn't looking at the screen. I was in autopilot mode to try and get everything done. But you will notice that the attack is following a certain formula, if you will. Queen walk starts. starts to path the way that you've wanted her to path. Secondary funnel gets created with the aid of the golem to come in, and then the rest of the troops come in right through the middle with the queen, whether it's wall breakers or not, and come into the base, and by then a large part of the section of the base has been taken out, and then you come in with the back end hog. Okay, this will be the last attack of this combo that we're showing today. Like I said, do try to make this one up, but if you're going to have issues with your troop icons at the bottom, you're going to have to swap things out to minimize the troop icons in total so that you can fit them on the screen. But you can see here, queen walk started, funnel to help make sure the queen doesn't come down to the right hand side and then go south. So she'll go left, and you can see then the second part of the funnel has begun. Wizard's taking out the army camp because he can. Golem's gone in. Now some extra funnel wizards. 2 more wizards left up the sleeve. Archer has already gone down on the left hand side, taking out that builder's hut that was over there and starting on the gold on the pump. Queen's going to come in just any second. King's coming down now, help take out the town hall. Golem's in, and now we're just going to need the clan castle bowlers to come in, and here they come now. They'll have nowhere else to go. Everything that they need to attack is closer to them than outside the wall, so they'll path inside, take the jump spell, start beating up the inside of the base. Now you've noticed that the healers have left the queen and they've moved on to the inside of the base, which contains the king and the bowlers. So keep an eye on the healers as well, and you'll notice that the healer will swap and change a little bit. Now that that part of the base is well and truly underway, hogs come in, nice drop of the skelly spell on the bottom there to distract the cannons and popped skellies and things like that down in that area to enable the hogs to keep on coming through. So this is an attack that relies on your kill squad to take out a massively large portion of the base. You've got the queen walk and the single golem coming in. Like I said, you don't need to use the baby dragon. You can mix up the funneling troops. You can mix and match the main troops taking out the rest of the base, though. Try to keep those as is. Like, I wouldn't start skimping too much on the hogs to bring in a distraction giant or something like that, because then you start to lose your DPS of taking out weapons, and in that case a wayward bomb or spring traps can really be devastating to your attack. But you can see in this case 6 bases wiped out, and even when the attack went wrong, it was still a devastating attack. So do have a look at the troop combination you see here. Just pause the video if you need to, but I'm going to leave this up for a little bit. Do make this up in your own clan. So make up this troop combination and just hit any base with it. Just hit any base and let the queen walk whichever way she walks. So if you're not quite 100% sure on how to funnel one way or other with the queen, have an intention about which way you want her to go. But if she doesn't go that way, if she goes the other way, only once you've known that she is committed one way or another, only once you know which way she's going to go, that's when you start doing your secondary funnel. If you start to do the secondary funnel and then she goes the wrong way, then the whole attack will perish. It will be no good. But once you know for sure which way she's going to go, that's when you can start your secondary funnel. So here we come to the question of the day. And the question of the day is, so if Batman was working in a pancake shop, you know, you can go in and you can buy pancakes. If Batman is working in a pancake shop, especially if he's making them, what would he be called? What alternate name would he be called? He would be called the Crepe Crusader. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Do leave the video a thumb up. Do try this combination. Please let me know what you think of the combination or what success you've had with it if you have used it. So do please drop me a comment below. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.